What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to the Berserk manga, this time with the final chapters of Volume 33, Shiva and the Heavens Shook. I know that Volume 34 is a big one for a lot of people, so super excited about that. Might have a little sneak peek at the end of today's reaction, but last time out we covered the kind of underground warriors, I guess we'll call them, evacuating Wyndham. I remember the name now. Evacuating Wyndham, saving a lot of women. And that was the second chapter we covered last week. Not last week, yesterday. And again, I'm pretty sure a few nods to Indiana Jones right here, which was pretty cool. But yeah, lots of naked young women right here. Ended up getting saved, and then we went undercover as Kushan soldiers after they just evaporated, which worked out really perfectly for us, didn't it? The fact that Ganishka himself kind of just killed all of his own soldiers, ended up working really nicely for these guys to escape and being part of Griffith's plan. It's quite amazing how that kind of panned out, and I think it was intentional from Griffith, wasn't it? Maybe that's why he gave Ganishka a second chance, so this would be possible perhaps. But yeah, some cool shots with Silat here as well, who could potentially be joining Griffith at some point down the line. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. But looking forward to seeing what we got today after we finished off with them all going up to Griffith. Griffith? A bit of a voice break there. Do let me know what you guys thought about this episode there down in the comment section. Hopefully it might didn't pick up. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. I don't really have voice breaks usually. I've said this a few times. I've always been a bit of an older guy. I had a moustache when I was like 12, 13. I had my first shave at like 13. And my voice broke really early on, so I don't, yeah, never really had too many voice breaks. Always had, yeah, I've always been a bit of an old man kid in a way. Oh, but yeah, let's get into Shiva. It's a bit scary for when I get older, because I'll look even older when I'm older, which is a shame, as opposed to people that look a lot younger than they are, which you see in Asians quite a lot. Asian people usually look quite a bit younger than they are. It'll probably be the reverse for me. Although I look quite young when I shave. That's a little gargoyle. And a bunch of crows, I think. Like the death leaving the place with the crows flying away, I guess. They're migrating elsewhere where there's not as many bodies hung up and such. Yeah. Again, I think that is simplistic of death, kind of. It's funny, because again, you still don't really believe in Griffith and believe in is good or whatever. It's not like this is salvation, but it is death. Instant kind of death gone from these people, so it is good in a manner, isn't it? It's better, but is it actually better? Is a good question. We'll find out. Again, a lovely bit of architecture right here. A lovely bit of architecture. Ugh. Oh. Oh crap. What is that? What the hell is it? Oh shit. Damn. That's like a real kind of sci-fi shot right there. Peeking through the darkness, we got this disgustingness right here. And you know what, I did mention yesterday how I was going to rewatch 10 Things I Hate About You, and I did rewatch that last night, and it wasn't as good as I remember. Maybe it's because it's much more of a teen kind of focused movie. Again, 500 Days of Summer actually got better over time for me, and turns out 10 Things I Hate About You, which I really liked as a teen, actually got a bit worse over time. Didn't enjoy it nearly as much when I watched it last night. Oh my god. Look at this. Holy crap. The noses. I feel right at home here. That hair, it's like Ganishka's hair, fog, this foggy hair mixed in with this disgustingly textured creature and bringing it to kind of physical levels right here. Like, this is an actual thing, it's not fog. It's just loads of Ganishkas. Jesus Christ. This is an absolute, like, this is going to look beautiful, I think. Maybe this is a little glimpse as to why next volume is highly regarded as it is, because this creature is going to look brilliant, isn't it? I already love this shot a lot. Again, very sci-fi, kind of horror inspired, isn't it, this one? Like, creeping through the door, obviously. The first thing I think of is the Thing, of course. Like, kind of melding, kind of. I always remember that melding kind of face in the Thing, those two faces. That's, there's a lot of memorable things in the Thing, isn't there? Away from the Thing, and including it, like the dog, the final sequence, obviously the what are they called? Clear 1, 2, 3. I forget what they're called. That scene on the medical desk, the heads. There's so many. Definitely watch that movie if you're like a fan of stuff like this, because that movie's got plenty. Although I don't think I have to say that nowadays. I think it was a thing of where that movie was very underrated. It was actually a financial failure when it released, and it came out to loads of bad reviews, I believe, which is quite insane to think about. I think something else came out in the same week that failed heavily as well. Awful way to spell theatre release. 1982. 1982 releases. Yeah, I think there's someone that came out the same weekend. I think Blade Runner, that's the one. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same weekend, but September 9th, 1982. August. So yeah, the week after, and they both came out within that week, and they both were big failures and critically shunned, I believe, which is very funny when you look at them nowadays. I love both those movies. Are two of my favourite movies. Very interesting, isn't it? Our time and kind of bring things to kind of cult status, and then even legendary status after a long time of cult status. But yeah, enough about that. Diver, 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 diver. Majesty, he wants to eat you, bro. I have obtained it, obtained and it. Jesus Christ. It also kind of reminds me of something like Resident Evil. Resident Evil love their eyeball creatures, is what I figured out. Like, especially in their early games, they always loved a creature massively hulking with a massive eyeball on a shoulder. They just love that design. Scariest things I've ever been through in Resident Evil. Like, my scariest ever moment. Again, I still maintain 4 as my favourite game because I just played that the most, and that was like my heaviest experience with Resident Evil on the Wii. It was interactive, probably why as well. It was fucking hard as shit to aim. That's why that was such a difficult game for me back then. I had to play on bloody Wii Remote. But Code Veronica slash is it Code Veronica? Code Veronica's got one, I know for sure, but it might have been either the first. I think it might have been the first game. I forget. Sometimes not the first, but the second and the third sometimes kind of blend in one to me. I was with the dogs. The dog was the was the scariest creature for me when I was a kid. When it jumped through the window, that really got you, because I just love Resident Evil games in general. Get survival horror games, because especially ones like Resident Evil. Again, I've been playing Dead Space recently, and that's really good. Really like Dead Space, but I prefer the kind of scavenging, and I really like the fixed camera angles and tank controls of Resident Evil, which is a big no-no for a lot of people. A lot of people don't like that, but having the angle fixed at like a horrific angle, an angle that is maybe a bit hard to see behind you, and it's locked, so you can't actually really turn or anything. I think that just goes perfectly with horror, doesn't it? It just makes you feel kind of enclosed, and when you do meet that dog, it is on like in Code Veronica, at least that's the most memorable one. Again, it did happen in a few of the other games as well, but you're in such a kind of tight corridor of space, and it just pops out of nowhere, and yeah, it's even with the graphics, it's not as great as you kind of even remember them being. I did replay it recently, and yeah, it doesn't hold up nearly as much. The gameplay does, but the visuals, of course, don't. But yeah, just in that tight space again, with the angle fixed like that, the controls actually being quite hard to move about. You've got to turn and then go forward. So yeah, I just genius. And when you take those away again, you see that in 4. It's still, again, it's my favorite game from the franchise. I always go on a lot about this, but yeah, even though they improved it by kind of making it kind of free cursor or whatever, you can move in whatever direction you want, I still think those tank controls are the best, even though many people hate them. I just add, and the fixed camera angles, it just adds a lot in the horror perspective, and that's the big complaint about 4 as well as other ones, in my opinion. As much as 4 is still my favourite, it doesn't have nearly as much horror. Got some really horrific things, don't get me wrong. Again, when you first enter that village with the baghead chainsaw guy, that is horrific. and the fight with the big bushy beard guy, the bald bushy beard guy that turns into that scorpion kind of form. It's not really a scorpion, but that kind of, when you cut off his bottom half. It's got some, and the fucking I think the Iron Maidens, those are terrifying as well, the sound they make. They've got Wolverine in there as well, the claws. That was also a scary moment, especially as a kid for me. And he just breaks out. Yeah, Iron Maidens. These things sounded and looked terrifying back in the day. Let me tell you, these things were horrifying. And as a kid, I didn't have a fucking clue how to kill them. I'd just shoot them endlessly and nothing would happen. But obviously, replaying it as an adult, you can kind of scope in on the thermal and see the 3 hearts or whatever they are and shoot them. But again, as a kid on the Wii, I had no fucking clue about that, so that made them even more scary. Yeah, even though it got less horrific as the Resident Evils went on, which is a shame, because they were masters at horror in those old days. But yeah, enough about that. But like I said, these creatures do just remind me of something you'd see out of one of those, which is big praise. Legendary franchise. In the infernal abyss, I obtained it. So what has he obtained? Has he obtained the status of something higher than a what's it called, apostle? Would you call him like a supreme apostle right now? Or he's definitely not a God Hand member, but he was looking for power similar to that, so maybe he is on the level of a God Hand member, who knows? We'll see. Power. The power of, as he takes this whole place down, which is a shame because I did just praise that as a beautiful bit of architecture. Holy crap. It was actually a bit less horrific than it was, but it looks fucking amazing, doesn't it? Look at that. That is amazing. Again, you could also say the same thing about what I said about Resident Evil 4 Berserk, to be honest with you. It's got less horrific over time and got more kind of action / fantasy heavy. This is definitely kind of more sci-fi fantasy like, isn't it? And horrific. Maybe that's just like the natural progression of things. See that with Alien as well, Alien 1 to Alien 2. Much more action packed. I personally prefer the horror of the first one. First one's probably always going to be my favourite. I know for many people the favourite is the second one. See that with Terminator as well. Although, funny enough, with Terminator, the second one's my favourite, and the first one is I like the first one, but it's not as good as the second. And that first one is more horror kind of fixated. Amazing, isn't it? I am also, again, another worry of mine for when I get older, not just looking older, but another thing is my nose, because pretty sure I've heard that noses always continue to grow, so that's another scary thing for me. Sometimes I don't see my nose as too bad. Sometimes I don't know if it's like a kind of ego kind of projection type thing, but sometimes I don't see my nose as too bad. Then every so often I'll have a look, and I don't really take photos of myself or something, but I'll have a look, not in a mirror and on like an iPhone or something, and my nose is just like completely slanted one way and looks much more terrible than I thought it did. And it's like, oh yeah, I just get reminded that I'm sounds very depressing when I say it like that, doesn't it? Just get reminded how ugly you actually are. I think when you actually look at mirrors, I think there is maybe like some psychological tricks and such going on there that maybe make you kind of not see yourself as bad as you are. Perhaps, I don't know. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe in iPhones it makes you see you worse than you actually are, so you use filters and such. I don't know. It's just quite funny how different it is looking into like an iPhone camera to a mirror to like a photo of yourself. It's again, something I wouldn't say I struggle with, but I always look very different in different kind of things. Don't know if that makes sense. I never look the same in kind of a photo to a digital photo to a mirror to what I think I look like. Majesty, is that you? Sorry for all the off-topic stuff there. Just thinking a lot, I guess. Majesty, is that you? What a form! It's humongous. I would be a bit scared of getting too close to that, honestly. Cramped. Choked. Doesn't sound like he's having fun in there, does it? Price you pay for power. Definitely reminds you a little bit of the last arc, doesn't it? With the kind of giant black blob that was messing around there. I imagine this is actually quite a bit more dangerous though. Oh shit, that's a hand? Holy crap. A double hand. Hand? Is that an arm? It is, yes, an arm. This is no mist. It's an arm of flesh. Yeah, I did say that earlier. Oh my god. Well, it's good. It's good job with that grade, isn't it? More. There are more. Strike the enemy and tear them apart. To take what I desire and seize it. More arms. Yeah, I guess that is actually quite fitting, isn't it? Greedy guy. That's his all his fucking arms. like I said, I've said a few times, it's very sci-fi like right here, isn't it? It's like sci-fi creatures, space, kind of tentacle monsters. Just how much evil has he taken into his body? No, the great emperor has now become hell itself. It's overflowing. Hell is overflowing. This very much is like something straight out of hell, isn't it? It's like emerging. Hell itself is risen up to take the world of the living. Absolute madness. Awesome though, isn't it? What a sight this would be. What's that sound? A rumbling? It's inside the city, from the castle's direction. Earthquake? It's a big one. Yeah, everything's coming down. It's over? Several men were pinned underneath. Forget it. They're gone. First it fell ominously silent, and now a big earthquake? What a night. I just want to see the sun soon. That's funny. Look how light the sky is already. And yet... Oh, that's just England for you. That's just England for you. Oh, it's daytime. Oh, there's no sun. Again today. It's just grey skies. That's just England for you. Oh my god. Again, how much of a ball ache must this be to draw? Like, bloody hell. Drawing all these people. Different faces. Although a lot of them, if you step back a minute, a lot of them do look very much the same. Same haircut and beard. But, though they've got the same haircut and beard, none of them actually look the same if you look at them. There might be a few, like, across, which I'm not comparing, but in, like, their immediate space. I do struggle to believe that not one of these guys shaves. There's one in the back here, perhaps. Or a few in the back there, perhaps that do. Have they got a good view of this, have they? Silat and his group. That's a really cool. I like these shots right here. I like this shot a lot. These guys just in the trees. I like that group a lot in general, to be fair. Oh, nice. I always love seeing these. I always love seeing these. But I think this one's a new one. I like that one a lot. You guys know I like all these kind of sea creature like ones. Well, I like all of them. But these ones are very sea creature like. No, I think this is a new one as well. A four-eyed frog or something. Cool. Looks like they're ready to go. Like Chatterer. Hey, one of my favourites. Raxas. Raxas. One of my favourites. Oh, we actually finally got a decent look at Robin Hood's face. Although it is a very generic looking face, isn't it? I think we have seen it before, but Not sure we've seen it like this. He looks quite a bit like Jerome, to be honest, doesn't he? The hair, Locust, his hair definitely is a bit more kind of slimy. But face-wise, he looks quite a bit like Jerome. My bad. Roderick is what fucking Jerome. Who's Jerome? There is a Jerome in Berserk, isn't there? Yeah, there is. Please don't tell me it's who I think it is. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, this is the fucking Guts knockoff. I was actually you guys don't want to know. I was thinking of I don't remember his name for the life of me. Okay, I'm going to type something in now. Hopefully the CIA don't get to me on this one. Who assaulted Guts is what I'm going to type in. Donovan. That's who I was thinking of. I was like, I hope I didn't get this guy mixed up with Donovan. No one wants to be mixed up with Donovan, do they? But yeah, remember this fucker? Just look at him. Look at him, just like, I'm gonna get you. It's like, just imagine him just sniffing around for, it's that little boy I smell. Fucking Donovan. Do you know what? That would actually be a genius thing to do, to bring this guy back as like a demon or something, just have him lurking. He is, to be honest, he is one of the scariest characters in this, isn't he, Donovan? And he's also one of the only darker characters, which might be a little bit problematic. Might be a little bit racist, but I don't know. I could definitely see how you might see it that way. Probably wasn't the intention, but it reminds me of Purple Aki, I think his name is. He's like a notorious UK paedophile. That I think he's like based in like Liverpool or somewhere far away from me, thank God. And I think he's just like always on the streets, and he's almost like a bit of a boogeyman, a bit of a kind of when you say like a bit of an urban legend of sorts. I think he is a real guy though. But yeah, apparently he's like 6'6" odd, and just loves little boys and touching their muscles and such. And you hear about him again. You hear like legends about him, the urban legends, and you're always a bit terrified. But he looks quite a bit like Donovan, from what I've seen, of what I believe is kind of real images of him. But easy to fake stuff nowadays, isn't it? That was a bit of a strange tangent that went on there. If I can remember Donovan. But like I said, he's actually one of the more horrific individuals in this, isn't he? Like, you have all the demons and stuff, and then you have the human Donovan. That is actually a lot scarier than a lot of those demons. Yeah, back to it again. How long have I been recording now, and I've not even finished the first chapter? Is a good question. Oh, only half an hour, not too bad. I imagine for more than half this I've been talking nonsense, so what is that? I think I can get away with that more in these Berserk videos. I've now just started doing my Nana manga reactions, and the chapters are like almost 4 times longer than 4 times probably, because it's pretty much all dialogue. They're like over 100 pages per chapter, so it's like at least an hour recording for one chapter, which is quite crazy. That's without kind of going on any tangents, but there's not really that much dialogue in Berserk comparatively. What is that? It ends. The reason of world ends now. That's not a great sentence, is it? The reason of world ends now. Like, I guess he's just actually just saying that worldly beings and things just have no involvement now. They're non-consequential. This is a fight for the higher beings, perhaps. Hey, looking good, Griffith. Holy shit! Again, that looks like something right out of like a sci-fi kind of aliens Crashing on Earth movie or something. Holy shit. Look at that thing. Jesus Christ. Look at the scale of that. Is this the biggest scale thing we've ever... Well, I'd say the Eclipse is probably the biggest scale thing we've ever seen. But apart from the Eclipse, is this the biggest scale thing we've ever seen in Berserk? Like, fucking hell. Man's just playing in the clouds. Playing in the clouds up there. The size of it. Arms. Holy crap, that is amazing, isn't it? That is fucking amazing. I like that a lot. As I've said before, I don't know what it was about sci-fi when I was in teenage years and as a kid. I just didn't like it. Didn't understand it. It's probably what I think. Maybe that's why I didn't like it, because I didn't fully understand it. Didn't get it. But the whole point is not to get it. It's maybe what I've understood. The whole point is to be amazed and fascinated by things you know nothing about. I think that just comes from a place. I've always been like this. I've always wanted to kind of master and kind of know everything about something that I'm interested in. Not so much too much in fiction. Like, I don't want to know everything and such about. Well, sometimes I do want to know every rule and such about fantasy worlds, like Hunter x Hunter and such, for example, and Berserk and how things work properly. But not the case most of the time in my what I have fun with. But when I work on stuff and such, I do like. I guess you could say I'm a bit of a completionist, perfectionist in that terms. So yeah, maybe that's why I didn't really like that as a kid. Maybe I can let that go a bit more now as an adult. But yeah, I just don't know what it was. I never really got along with any sci-fi series or anything as a teen. I like it a lot now. But I appreciate more genres of stuff now. But yeah, this is fucking phenomenal, isn't it? I can't wait to see more of this guy. Again, I think this is maybe a little glimpse as to why the next volume is as praised as it is. Just look at that shadow as well, my dude. Look at that shadow just looming over everything in sight. Even past Griffith's army here, it's actually looming over. And I guess that also explains why those guys couldn't see the sun earlier. Jesus. That is incredible. As we finish off with a nice little artwork of Griffith. Looking quite different to his last artwork, actually, isn't it? Looks a bit more reptile-like here, doesn't he? A little bit more inhuman. Lizard man. It looks a bit more soft and kind here, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's how's this chapter not got more likes? Get into the comments quickly. I thought, again, especially like this, the monster kind of effects and such was fantastic here. Yeah, that is very interesting, isn't it? They show Griffith after the reason why the world ends panel instead of actually talking about the monster at hand. Because the true monster here, again, like I said, it's been like, this is a feign of good. It's a feign of kind of survival and living on and hope. But in actuality, this guy's the fucking monster. They're both monsters, but this guy's even more so a monster. Like, it's the unsuspecting evil that stabs you in the back. That hurts the most. That was a good point right there. We might actually finally get to see Griffith do something, if you know what I'm saying. Don't want to see him do stuff, but to a kind of, might actually see him like strain or kind of use his true, like, all his power or something. Use a high percentage of it or something like that. Because I mentioned that last week, yesterday, should I say? Sorry. The fact that we haven't ever actually seen him kind of really go all out or be challenged in any way whatsoever, really. So he's just walked through everything, just breezed through it. In his demon form, of course. I'm not talking about Griffith in general, but in his femto kind of, after he turned into femto. Glorious days. It does feel grand, doesn't it? It feels big. It feels heavy. A lot of people liking it, which is good to see. Not too much else in the comment section, so we get on to the final chapter today. I think I was very much right to have these final chapters here as my most anticipated, wasn't I? Again, I don't know why they haven't got as many likes as they should have. The heavens shook. And I was about to mention as well, it feels so grand and big and awesome, but it's also away from Guts and his crew, which is like, it's amazing how this series can do that. It can just cut to Griffith, your most like hated character, one of the most hated characters, and his group and Ganishka and such, and still be just as awesome, even away from our main cast. Secret technique, bungee slash. Again with your willy schemes. That definitely doesn't say willy. Again with your wily schemes. Sorry guys. It's like fighting with a giant marshmallow right here. Thanks for coming up so early. There's such a nice breeze whenever I come up here. I did read that out of order, apologies. It's like the witch girl was saying. For some reason, a good wind blows whenever you stand here. Smooth sailing makes for a smooth voyage. You're a great help to us sailors. I'm really being used here. Well, not that I mind. And it's a special seat. The sylphs gather there as long as Serpico is present. They've gathered to play. You seem to be rather used to your luminous body now too, Farnice. This might be a good time to move to a slightly deeper level and establish a contract with a spirit. Oh, let's go. Let's see. Yes, let's see. Just a weak one right now, please. Nothing Shirker getting possessed-esque and not being able to come back. None of that. None of that business. Do you reckon that's a thing of where different people can kind of obtain different kind of spirits, and you've got to be like get along with a certain kind of spirit, be a certain type of person, perhaps? Again, there's plenty of room to explore with that, but this should be pretty fucking awesome right here. We're fishing with a bit of cheese. Yes, we are fishing with a bit of cheese. Guess you can't fish with cheese. Okay. I guess we're not fishing with cheese. I had a feeling that kind of wouldn't work. That kind of thing wouldn't work. Why doesn't that work? Well, you never really hear about fish eating cheese, do you? Obviously not a normal thing for fish to eat. So, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Get some meat or something on there. Or a bug. Should be plenty of bugs you can find on this ship, to be fair. Fish of the sea are big and ferocious. You got to give them a bigger mouthful. Mouthful? Oh God. No. A bigger mouthful? Hey, get out of my pouch. What are you talking about? We're doing this in an effort to invigorate you. You're so quick complaining. As we see the behelit. It's so undetailed, I didn't actually know what this was until I focused on the shot. Like, just looking at these pages, that was just like, there's nothing there. And it's just Puck. Oh my God. It moved. Ugh. You don't get a free lunch. Time's come to pay me back for all I did for you. Looks kind of awkward. Cut that out. Yeah, like Puck's touched it and it's moved. Maybe Putt is yet to awaken as an apostle. That'd be horrific, really, wouldn't it? One day Putt just turns into an apostle. It'd probably be quite a bit like bloody name. That's really annoying that I forget her name. Rosine. Probably be quite a bit like Rosine's. Yes, moved its horrible face. Ugh, shuddering. Yeah. Nasty piece of work. Lord Betchy is angered. I sacrificed this, so oh no, don't say that, Puck. Don't say you're sacrificing anything. Don't know anything. I might actually take you seriously. I sacrificed this, so please calm thyself. Whoa, sacrifice what? How? Oh? That cask is hurting. What? This better be a joke. Ugh. And it's facing probably in the direction of where Ganishka and Griffith's going on. Horrible little fucker. What the? What's this bizarre sensation? Shirka, do you feel that? Yes. Some unbelievable calamity seems to be taking place. Teacher! I feel it. It's from inland to the east and it's huge. It's like, just like this world is tearing apart. Damn, it's pretty fucking amazing that everyone here can feel that. Considering how far away it is, probably that they can't even see it, so it's very far away because it's massive and they can't see it. So it's amazing that they can feel it from here. Damn, Jesus. Okay, let's get prepared for this bit of artwork that's coming up. I was wondering what this was. This is actually it. This shit behind it. I was like, what is that? It's actually Ganishka right there. Holy shit. Again, it is like I mentioned this last week. I keep saying last week. Why do I keep saying that? Yesterday. I mentioned this yesterday about again, I was told that it still is kind of replicating the events leading up to the eclipse, and this very much seems like it is the eclipse right now, doesn't it? Like this seems very reminiscent of that giant hand, and it feels like even grander in some ways. Fucking hell. This is insane. This is insane. Whew. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Oh my god. More. Japanese really are good with their tentacles, aren't they? They really know how to use them in the most horrifying ways. That's one thing I need to do, to be honest with you. Now that I can understand a bit more Japanese, I've said this before, I think, about the fact that I've never really got along with foreign movies in general. I struggle because I want to, especially with foreign movies, I feel like anime is okay because it's not as movie, and when it what do I mean by movie? When I say movie, I mean like animated. Like it's not as moving. The images don't move as much. When there is dialogue, it usually is just the character on the screen moving their mouth. There's nothing else to really to pay attention to. Whereas with movies, there's so much to pay attention to, like with the cinematography, those things going on behind the scenes, and character expressions and such. There's so much more to kind of watch during a dialogue, even a dialogue scene, that the subtitles really are just like almost a distraction. But if you don't read them, you don't understand what the hell's going on. So I've always struggled with movies, but again, it's a bit easier reading subtitles for anime, in my opinion. I'm not one of I find it strange that people watch movies with subtitles in their own language. I've always found that quite strange, but that's a thing quite a lot of people do apparently. But yeah, as I was saying, one thing I need to do more this year is watch Japanese movies. I've watched a few. I've recently watched Ringu for the first time, which was really good. I did mention a while ago how I watched the Ring Girls. Her Japanese name, but the Ring Girl versus Ju-on, which was one of the first things I watched in Japanese, and that was pretty much as expected. It wasn't awfully crazy or anything. It was all right, about as all right as you can expect that to be. But yeah, I need to watch because I can understand Japanese a bit more, and I probably not have to read the subtitles every time. I could probably get along a little bit better with what goes on there. I know I'm missing out on a lot of. I think there's one Spanish time travel movie that I've heard is amazing that I need to watch, but yeah, again, I struggle because it's just too much. It's like sensory overload. Spanish time travel movie. Time Crimes is what it's called. It sounds really interesting. Very highly rated. Yeah, I've heard this. I love time travel stuff. I can't remember how I heard about this, but yeah. A man accidentally gets into a time machine and travels back in time nearly an hour. Finding himself will be the first series of disasters of unforeseeable consequences. Sounds really interesting, doesn't it? And again, I've heard this is very good. Oh, does that say directed by the director of Rec? I don't know, it's in Spanish, but it has Rec in its name, which I have seen. That's the Spanish one I have seen. You haven't got to worry about the subtitles too much in that one. It's more about the horror of the situation. But I don't like that as much as normal people. I don't like Rec as much as normal people. It's a found footage of like a kind of biohazard-y type of event. I like that movie, don't get me wrong, but I don't herald it as something absolutely amazing. But I think that is down to, again, that being the fact that I didn't really take down all the dialogue. Yeah, Hector is an ordinary man who's moving into a new house with his wife. One evening, while he's looking through his binoculars... Like, what the hell? That's not the movie, is it? Apparently so. One night, while he's looking through his binoculars, he sees a naked girl in the woods. He decides to go there just to find the same girl laying on a rock. This doesn't sound like the same movie as what was set up there, does it? Time travel with a bit of horror thrown in. But yeah, sounds like something I like, so I might have to try that out. I think it said it was only 90 minutes there as well, which is also a bit of a rarity for movies nowadays. I think I always do prefer a movie around 90 minutes long. I don't mind like a 3-hour movie if it's good, but it's just a long time to watch a movie. A long time to watch a movie. Yeah, enough of that tangent. It all came from the tentacles. I think it also came from, just to one more point on that, I think it also came from when I tried to watch a movie called Host, I think it's called, which I did like quite a bit. But I never got through it all because, again, struggled reading the subtitles while watching, so I just ended up turning it off. But that's heralded as a very good Japanese movie, I believe. But yeah, I never finished that. It's got this kind of like fish creature in it. I remember a scene of that running that looked absolutely beautiful, especially for think it was like the mid-2000s that came out. But yeah, especially for that time, I remember watching the kind of creature run, and it looked absolutely fantastic. Also, another one I need to watch is Godzilla -1, which I've heard is really good. Got to check that out when it's released on DVD. It's just so big that I can't even see it all. Half of it's in the cloud. Well, not half of it, but a little bit of it's in the bloody clouds up above. It's a god. Ah, holy crap. Insects? What? What are these little bugs? You were once that size. Let's not forget that. You were once one of these. At some point, Ganishka was a human. Quite insane to think about how we got from that to here. So these little bugs. Yep. Stomp on those insects. Yes. That's a foot. They're feet. Feet for trampling and crushing the enemy beneath. It's like he's creating himself. Like he's discovering the parts of himself. Like, oh, I'm gonna make some feet and legs now, so I can trample. I'm gonna make arms because I'm a greedy guy and I want everything. I've got this really weird pain in my wrist. I don't always have it, and I can bang it, and I can like move it around. It feels fine, but sometimes, just sometimes, when I randomly do something like that, I have a pain like in my wrist here. I don't know if it's because I play too many games or what. It's like right there. If anyone can diagnose that, if anyone knows anything about that. But yeah, it's not that there's a bruise or anything there. It's not like it hurts again. I can like smack it and I can like do anything really. But when I do a movement like that or something, I can feel maybe a slight strain. It's not massive or anything, but if any of you guys have any experience with that, that'd be appreciated. Don't want that to develop into something bad. Again, I should be the one really doing that. I did study bloody anatomy and and like muscle strains and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't have much recollection. Oh well. You guys are all about to be kicked right here. Trampled on by this. It honestly looks like 50 tree trunks cleanly cut off and stuck together, doesn't it? More than 50. Jesus. Also feels quite a lot like Attack on Titan, of course. Some of these scenes. Which is an obvious comparison, isn't it? And look at that. Just blood. Jesus. Ooh. Flowers. Red flowers just bloomed where I stepped. This guy must be thinking like he's an angel right now or something, right? I mean, it kind of is. He is an angel in a way. But the fact that like he's like, oh, I touched this bit of rusted metal and it turned into a beautiful blooming set of flowers. I'm such a heavenly fairy type deal. But no, in reality you've just killed a bunch of people and they're just splattered. They're beautiful. Quite funny, isn't it? Like he doesn't actually recognize what he's done right there. I don't think. I think he's regressed a little bit mentally after transforming into this state. Just look how fucking cool that looks, my dude. My god, that looks amazing. So beautiful. Bloom, red flowers, bloom away. Jesus Christ, it's just epic, isn't it? It's epic. That's the word for this. Epic, grandiose. It's just ginormous, and the stature, just look, everything about it just looks cool as fuck. But as I said, it's very tree-like in a way. Like these like roots. It reminds me of a bit of this. I imagine this Pokemon might have actually been based off this. Actually, now I think about it. Wow, I can't believe I spelled that right. It reminds me that obviously this is very simple, and obviously it's a Pokemon, so it's designed for kids. But it reminds me a little bit of circuitry. I know this is like a kind of cables, but this also looks a little bit tree-like. There's similarities in a way, I guess. I always quite liked those Ultra Beast Pokemon because they were very out there during the time that they were released. Much more of a kind of sci-fi influence than the usual kind of animal influences. This just looks horrific, doesn't it? I've seen similar images to this before in I think real kind of demonic kind of works. Like creatures with arms like this, loads of arms, all kind of squiggly. But fucking hell. It's incredible, my dude. What? What's that gigantic silhouette? That's the beast of the end. The one who brings to an end the reason of the world. That's like a god. It's the god Shiva. I think that's probably what it reminds me of. I think Shiva's got like 6 arms, right? Something like that. Again, I'm really not too clued up on this. So, wow, looks like sometimes it's got 2 arms. It's got 4 arms. All right. Looks like sometimes it's got 2 arms, and sometimes it's got 4 arms. But I've seen plenty of designs in media based off this. Honestly, a little bit of disrespect on Shiva. Comparing Shiva to that beast. It's the god Shiva, that which lies outside reason. Who knew we'd see it in such a form as this? Do you intend to challenge that demon god? He does. He does. What a sight to see. Like the end of the world. Awesome! Giant monster! That's that one horror kid right there. That one kid that watches horror movies. Everyone else is terrified, and this guy's like, yeah, giant monster. Brr, brr. Holiness. Your Holiness. Please guide us. Please save us. There's nothing to fear, my children. Rather, open your eyes and watch bravely. Okay, I really like his design. I think it's really cool, really good. Just perfect for a pontiff. Like fragile, feeble. Also a little bit pretentious. A little bit, yeah. Really, I don't know why, I just really like it. Now is the prophesied time. This beast that pierces the heavens, is the personification of all calamity, the embodiment of darkness. But darkness is sure to be driven away by the hawk of light. All of you here today are blessed. Before your eyes, a miracle shall... Nay, we're already in the midst of a miracle. You already are. Again, Griffith has already kind of done this. He's already kind of been through this situation, awakened, a little bit like Ganishka right here, didn't he? He kind of went through a bit of a metamorphosis in a similar way. And he is also a miracle, but probably a bigger one because he became a God Hand member. Again, I'm not sure about the status of things, but it seems Ganishka here has just become a god. But he's not the god. A hawk of light? A hawk of light? And funny enough for Griffith as well, I'm not sure they're going to be able to do much, but he's just had a whole mass group of people escape from Wyndham and are ready to be used by him right here. Of course, he's got his whole army here as well, but if needs be. There he is, looking rather unimpressed. Powen. And that is it. Wow, that was incredible. Again, I think I can see why the next volume is going to be amazing. I think I can very much see why that's going to be the case, because I love this design of this creature right here. It's simple, but in a great way. It conveys what it is, if you know what I'm saying. It's this horrible beast, ginormous, but again, it's also quite simple. It's just this guy's lust for power and greed right here. I like it a lot. I like these shots, especially of like all his heads. But again, just the scale of it is just incredible. But yeah, let's read some comments quickly. Might have a little sneak peek at the cover of next volume. Won't go any further than that. Yeah, I imagine we're going to see a lot of praise for the artwork. And yeah, someone said the rumbling. I wonder what came out first. Attack on Titan, the first chapters, or these chapters of Berserk. Either way, something I always find very annoying and interesting as well. The fact that people say like art is too inspired by something, it's too much like something, and in some instances you can just like, people do just copy, so it is wrong in some instances. But every bit of artwork in the world, every piece of art, music, drawings, anything, sculptures, your whole life has been learning from things. Nothing is ever actually kind of original. Even if you think it is like a totally original idea, you've been inspired by something. Your whole life is inspired in a way, so nothing's ever truly original. So in any piece of art, you've actually taken from something, even unknowingly, and sometimes intentionally, and that's all right. Like, that's why I hate when people just say it's not original enough. It's not. It looks too much like this. You took too much inspiration from this and that and this, but everything does. Everything's kind of inspired by something. You can't learn anything without like learning about learning from another thing, another being, another person, another. Yeah, it's I don't know. Sometimes with people that do like think stuff like that, you just got to. It's almost kinder to just kind of. Well, you should always kind of let them know if someone's thinking the wrong thing, but sometimes it's just kind of just like let them kind of be. Sometimes people don't want to kind of think differently. Sometimes people don't want to learn and grow themselves and get better. I think everyone's kind of guilty of that in some way, in some manner. That I'm quite a what's it called? Stubborn. I'm quite a stubborn person in some instances. I really don't like upgrading things. Like, if I've got to do an update on my computer or my phone, I put it off for as long as I possibly can. Although nowadays on my computer I don't, because it just runs better if I just update it instantly. But unlike my phone, if there's an update, I won't be updating that for like 3 or 4 months. What's Griffith's endgame? Does he want to rule a kingdom even when he's already God? Exactly, he does. I believe his goal has always been the same. You remember that castle, the footway. He's taking the footway to the castle so he can have that castle. He can reach his dream, so he can rule the land, and he needs people to rule the land, and he needs a land to rule. I think it is just as simple as that. He could probably achieve much, much more than that. But I think again it's the fact that he is still striving for that original dream we saw during the eclipse and before. So I don't think that's true. I don't think he wants to rule the whole world. Like I said, he probably maybe could, but not his goal. Oh. So it's not that it looks like Shiva. It's actually the meaning of Shiva is why Silat said it was Shiva, or the people around him. God Shiva is the god of distraction in Indian mythology. Is it destruction? Yeah, I was gonna say, is that typo? God of distraction doesn't sound very cool. I'm gonna distract you. I'm just over here in the corner. You look at me. It doesn't sound awfully great. The god of destruction in Indian mythology, and has many forms. It's stated that when the time comes, he will be the one to end the real world. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now. I mean, if not already, yeah. I mean, legendary author right here, because this artwork is incredible, isn't it? How hard it would be to capture that scale in animation. Like, bloody hell. That would be ridiculous. I've always found that quite hard about anime. Capturing scale. Something that Attack on Titan does well, maybe one of the best. But I see it a lot in anime where they try and make something gigantic and monstrous and huge, and it just doesn't work a lot of the time. So now, what's Griffith going to do? Cast some magic? Well, again, we haven't really seen too much of what Griffith can do, but we've seen him delete matter. We've seen him literally just make a meatball just into nothing, and that's just like, that was right after the eclipse. So it does look a little bit like a mind flayer from Stranger Things, which is unfortunate about Stranger Things, isn't it? No one's really cares about this new season because all the controversy going on with the cast. Even I don't really care about it too much anymore. They've just spent a little bit too long, I think. Maybe they're just drawn out a bit too much. I did enjoy the last season. It definitely wasn't the best season though, that's for sure. I still probably maintain maybe the first season was probably the best. But yeah, again, even I'm not really excited for the last season. Just kind of lost its hype a bit. Not exactly like Marvel. Like, I haven't. I really like. I want to watch the newer, and I know it's good. I know I've heard it's really good, but I want to watch like the newest Guardians of the Galaxy. But I just can't be bothered. I just really can't be bothered to watch superhero movies. Like, Marvel really just kind of overinflate that market so much, and I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. Sick of the tone, because it's all. I think that's it. I think that's the issue. It's just the tone is the same in everyone. A little bit of comedy, a little bit of action, a little bit of emotion, and it's just always the same formula. And it was a working formula, but it's just, I'm just sick of it. Again, I know that I'd probably even enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but I just can't be fucking bothered to pick it up and put it on. And I feel similarly, not nearly as much, to this final season of Stranger Things. I wouldn't say it's like an annoyance to pick up, but it's just, I just don't feel as bothered, nearly as bothered as from when I was looking forward to maybe season 2 after season 1, for example. What is I've heard that name before. Eldritch. Weird and sinister or ghostly. Yeah, do you know what? This game I was thinking about picking up the other day. It looked really cool. Oh, you know, wow, there's some really cool artwork here. Some really cool artwork here, and it does look quite similar to Ganishka. I can't remember what the game was, or no way I'll be able to know what it's called. Horror game is not gonna cut it. Oh my god. It came from this. It came from a potential Alien logo for the Alien movie. I don't think it was based on this or anything, but the logos look really similar. This is apparently what it could have looked like, and this looks like the title of a game that I've heard of, but I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. I don't think I'll be able to find it, to be honest with you guys. Sorry, might be a minute here. I guess Eldritch is a game. Alright. First person shooter. That looks like a game I might have to check out. It's none of these. Sorry, guys. I don't think it is Lovecraftian. Is the issue. Well, I can't find it. Yeah. I'm lost. I'm not sure I'll be able to find it. Eldritch is what it was called. First person shooter. I've never heard of this game. Is it because it's like PC only? Oh, it's like a board game. Huh. Interesting. Never heard of this at all. Then again, I've never really played a horror board game, and I'm not into board games. So I'm just going to type in years till I find it. Might be the best course of action here. It's really annoying trying to find things that you don't kind of actually know too much about, isn't it? I remember the title of it, like finding songs, which has become a lot easier over the years. You can just kind of type in some lyrics a lot of the time. Cool horror game title, because it has got a really cool horror game title. Maybe it's not actually as popular or known about as I think it is. Or maybe it came out later than I thought it did. Or earlier, should I say. I could be here all day. I could be here all day with you guys. My God. I don't think I'm finding this, am I? 2018. Luigi's Bloody Mansion. Is there 3 of those now? Holy crap. I've only ever played the first one on N64. It was a fun game, to be fair. I think my favourite for the N64, one of my favourites at least, was Super Mario Sunshine. That was amazing. Don't get too many of those kind of slightly different Mario games anymore, do you? I don't think I'm finding this. I don't think I'm finding this, guys. I feel like I would have found it already if I was. One more year, and we're done. So sorry, I've just wasted like 5 minutes of your time. Oh, I've done it! I've done it! On the last attempt. Well, you always go one more. Scorn. Again, it's such a simple name. Yeah, so hard to find. Yeah, this. I saw it on sale the other day. I didn't buy it. I might end up buying it. It looked really strange. It looked pretty good, to be honest, though. It's got like weird kind of strange weapons. I can't remember what type of artwork it's based off, but it's like a scientific kind of mechanical horror. Looks really interesting. Again, some really strange artwork here. It's quite highly rated from the looks of things. I might have to check that out. It came out 2022. How did I find it when I put in 2015 then? Maybe that's just the way the world works. H.R. Geiger, that's the one. It's inspired by H.R. Geiger, who, again, I don't really know much about. But I googled some of his artwork after looking at this game, and it looks fucking amazing. Again, it's very kind of mechanical, human, kind of almost kind of rapey of the two kind of mixing together. That probably doesn't make sense till you see it. But he's got some really cool artwork. And as I said, I realised that because someone said that the Potential Aliens title looked like something H.R. Geiger would have made. And I actually think he did have a hand in creating the design for the original Alien. The original design looking a bit more like this. But yeah, he's got some really, again, kind of human, kind of mechanical, alien type style. And I thought it was really cool. I looked quite a bit into it. Rapey was the wrong word. I was thinking kind of intrusive. It feels kind of like forced upon you type deal. Disgusting. Like this. It's just like, it's disgusting. But cool as well. Very cool. Might have to check out that board game though. I mentioned a few weeks back now that my electric went down. I saw that the phone line was on fire, so I might have to get that board game for when that happens next. Yeah, honestly, that was quite scary. Puck could have actually become an apostle right there. I'm glad he didn't. It would have been quite funny to see, but yeah, that is it for today. Again, sorry for wasting your last 5 minutes there trying to fucking find that game, but yeah, amazing stuff today. And again, we're gonna have a little peek at the cover here. Zod White? No, he's not. We've seen him in colour before and he's been black. Has he done like a reawakening of sorts, Mr. Zod? And white. This is a cool fucking artwork, isn't it? What is behind them? What is behind them is a good question. It's not Ganishka, is it? Is that the moon? No. It looks like a face, but it also kind of looks like the moon in the distance. Femto, right here, who's also now turned white. And then this, standing upon Ganishka, probably right here. Holy crap. Yeah, next volume is going to be brilliant, isn't it? So yeah, thank you guys again for watching. Do let me know what you guys thought about these chapters down in the comment section. Some fantastic stuff today. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. I did mention maybe a little while ago that this is, again, not my favourite stretch of Berserk. We've had some bad volumes relatively recently, but right now we're definitely getting kind of back into maybe some of my favourite bits of Berserk right here. This kind of very out there, otherworldly type stuff. But yeah, super excited. Thank you guys very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.